Here, ladies, I got you.
Oh,
just for the rest of your tour.
I
thought it would be nice to, like, take a rose with you.
Are you just going to stay here because you're not allowed out into the forbidden zone, are you?
Yes.
You are your
I'm
character.
a huge Planet of the Apes fan, and you just said forbidden zone.
Yeah.
And now I love you forever.
Oh.
I don't want to go because I can't put my name on anything that I don't believe in, and I don't believe in either party. They're both the same thing. No, I won't get on stage. I'm an American. Why did I forfeit? Did I forfeit my right to live in your bastard country?
Hey, this is not the Reform Party convention.
Is it the Democratic convention?
No, it's not that.
Okay, well, I thought this was a place where just people with different opinions spoke. I didn't understand it was a fascist state, which I believe that's where America's headed.
I'm a lot of things. I'm a loudmouth and all that stuff, but I'm not stupid, for God's sake, and I never would have wittingly called any black person say they are a monkey. I never would do that, and I didn't do that. And if people think that I did that, it just kills me.
I'm the only fucking person, my mom included, telling the part where she didn't know this woman was African American before she made the comment. To me, it's really important. And the publicists have said, well, any white person calling any non-white person, you know, comparing them to a monkey is bad. Yeah, okay, it's a stupid tweet, but the reason people are mad is because they think mom knew this woman was African American and called her a monkey. So I think it's a pretty important distinction to mention. If my mom actually called a black person knowingly a monkey, I'd be more pissed off than anyone.
You said, you were clear when you said I made a mistake. I thought she was a white woman.
I said it 10,000 times, and they act like they didn't hear it. It's horrible. MK Ultra mind control. They act like they didn't hear it, so I did it with a shouting scream, and they just said that was evidence of me having mental illness. They're just, there's no way through to them. But I thought she was white.
You know, the issue of mental health is very near and dear to me. When you get fired, you get real suicidal, but I'd never kill myself because that would make too many fucking people happy. And I'm not about making people happy. Dear ABC, when you asked me back to once again bail out your shit fucking low-rated network, I did so with the same vigor I've always rocked, and I delivered you the highest ratings that you had in 10 fucking years. At the first sign of controversy, you killed me off with a drug overdose. But you know what? I ain't dead, bitches.
They've ruined comedy, but, you know, because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But the thing is, everybody's feelings need to be hurt. That's how you grow. You know how many times I've been called names by the press since I started 30 years ago? You know, the press I got was like, she's out to destroy the American family. And first I was boycotted by the far right. Now I'm boycotted by the far left. And I'll tell you, so as somebody who's lived through boycotts by both, the far left is far, far worse. And they never, ever admit that they were wrong, and that's really scary.
She says she was blacklisted after sending out this tweet about former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. She was taking the sleeping pill Ambien when she posted it.
I've been sober for 1.5 years since I got fired. I haven't used Ambien.
And my life is really, really so much better. That's a very powerful drug that does a lot of negative harm to people who use it. You've got to be real careful. It makes you do whack stuff.
What are your thoughts now on what happened almost a year and a half ago?
It was a perfect storm, kind of a little bit too perfect. And sometimes I think, was this orchestrated? The whole thing, asking me back, needing so badly to slam Trump and people who voted for him.
Jackie, would you like to take a knee?
Do you dwell on what happened?
When it happened, it was like I thought I was going to lose my life. It was devastating and horrible. And it was unprecedented, too, that they would do that to me and then, on top of it, use that as an excuse to steal my life's work, too.
After Roseanne's middle-of-the-night tweet, co-star Sarah Gilbert was quick to make her own feelings known publicly, calling it abhorrent.
That's the tweet that got the show canceled.
Have you talked to her since?
No.
Do you want to? Do you plan at some point to sit down with her and confront her about it?
When somebody just doesn't care how their actions affect you, what's there to talk about?
Do you talk to any of the cast anymore?
No.
Do you watch the show anymore?
No. I watch my reruns.
Fellow TV star Deborah Messing has been embroiled in an ongoing Twitter war with President Trump. He recently tweeted, "Bad actress Deborah the Mess Messing is in hot water. She wants to create a blacklist of Trump supporters and is being accused of McCarthyism." If Roseanne Barr said what she said, even being on a much higher rated show, she would have been thrown off television.
Well,
Will
I
fake
was.
news NBC allow a McCarthy-style racist to continue? ABC
Well,
fired
I already
Roseanne. Watch
was.
the double standard. Is there a double standard based on who you support politically, do you think? If you support Donald
Yeah.
Trump, do you think there's a double standard?
I think it's a triple standard. All of Hollywood, they just hate him. And they hate those of us who like him. There's no way around it.
All these people on the internet, I mean, you've experienced this whole stuff, but there's all these people on the internet being like, look at these Karens. And I'm like, you're that. That's you. You're doing that. Like, oh, look, they want to get people in trouble at their jobs. And I'm like, what bizarro world am I living in where you think you aren't that? So that's kind of like where that
It's
whole
like
thing
some
came from.
kind of it's some kind of fucking grotesque arrogance. And it's also like a way to signal that you have no self-reflection at all either.
Where's the party for people that think that there should be health care, but they also don't think Roseanne should be canceled for a tweet? How about that for a party?
I'd like to see a party that actually likes women.
Okay.
That would be new. That would be new
I'm
and
out.
different.
I've not heard one person that was offended at what you said. I have not spoken to one person that was angry about it. The only people that were angry were writers and failed comedians, and they were, these fake journalist types. But people want to listen. People want to hear you out. The American public wants to hear people out. They don't want to just throw people in the street. This is being engineered at a very high level by the people that are designing this world, which is a prison they want us all to live in.
Yeah, it's very true. It's a mind prison.
So I was always there to pop the bubble, and then they got rid of me, ruined my life, stole my life's work, and insulted me every day since by calling me a racist. After I fought them for 30 years to get black people on my show as writers, producers, and even crew. When they tell me, what's wrong with you? Are you an N-word lover? Now they call the same people calling me a racist. They can fuck theirself.
That's always my argument. The media is the most racist of all, and then they try to brand people as racist because they actually want to create the conflict. They want to create the violence and the antipathy between peoples.
They're getting rich off the problem. They don't want to solve the problem. They get rich off it.
Yeah, they get rich off of it. I mean, they're the ones that, over how many years, they're the ones that put the image of the black man as mugger and rapist and murderer on television screens, right? And warned about the dangers of black men.
And I think people know now that how racist they are, the left, because there was the word ape in the title of the movie I was referencing. They
mischaracterized that to say black people look like apes.
The other thing was that they drown out my apology. I mean, I must have made about 50 apologies on all networks and any place that would have me on, and none of them would have me on, even ABC. And Whoopi, my friend, wouldn't even have me on, or Joy, who I thought was my friend too. But racist, 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 and all the newspapers colluded, and they'd say racist, racist, or the racist tweet. Well, I thought she was white, so I'm guilty of not assessing someone's race or gender correctly.
Hmm.
Now, I just don't like that in America,
No.
because this ain't no lockdown. I mean, it is for the way they did it. Like, how come they're voting for Joe Biden when he's the one that put out that law that locked most of the black prisoners up in this country? And they're holding him up like he's not a racist and Trump is. It's an hourglass flip. In mind control, that's what it's called. And my friend Gore Vidal said it best. He said, they put a Republican in the window for a while, and when people get mad at that, then they put a Democrat up in the window. But the thing is, there's only one party, and that's the money party.
The Roseanne show, I helped to unionize that show because it was not a union show when I started. I put my ass on the line for my crew to bring them to union wages and health care and retirement and the things they should have for creating a billion-dollar industry and being part of it. I have my ethics, and I believe people should be paid for their work, and they should receive a percentage of the profits of that work, because that's freedom, right? That ain't slavery. Yeah. We're against slavery. So, yeah. And then, when it all came down, it was a betrayal from the very bottom of that all the way up. Not one of them. Wow. Not one of them came to my defense over one sentence in 30 years of fighting on the behalf for equality and one law for everybody. People who say they love you, and if it comes between you and a check for 10 cents, they're going to take the check. And they all go together. Well, they're ripping off artists and talking about democracy. And that's what makes me mad, because I've been talking about that my whole life in my 2012 campaign for president. Go on YouTube and see some of my speeches where I talk about, legalizing marijuana, because the fact is it was a class war, and it was their drug wars were a drug war against black youth to get them at the height of their power, their physical power, between the age of 14, 18, and put them in prison. That was my campaign in 2012. So I'll be damned if I'm going to listen to any one of those motherfuckers calling me a racist. They finally got me, They tried to fire me off the original Roseanne show and all that stuff too, just people don't like me there. Whatever, they just don't like me.
And so now, aside from
even though I hired them and gave them their career and shit, they don't like me.
So then, what would you say is that first moment that you realized something was terribly wrong? Was it the party, or was it other things? When did you start actually applying yourself into this kind of activism behind the scenes?
Well, it's a very horrible story, but
They used to have this thing, Make a Wish, and these kids got to get their wish, you know, before they died. They were terminal, and I've told this before, but sometimes it gets me, man. But this little black girl, she was 8 years old. And her name was Renee, and her wish was to meet me, you know. And so she came to the show, and she drew me a picture, and I hung it on the fridge there on the Roseanne show. I hope they didn't take that out. But she was an 8-year-old girl dying of AIDS because her mother's boyfriends raped her all the time. Yeah. And, you know, I just couldn't take it. But before that, I'd been hospitalized several times with mental illness. And every time I would go to the hospital, you know, other people in there, they went through some shit that nobody could even know about, even today. I'm waiting though. But yeah, so I mean, once your head gets cracked open like mine was, it don't never grow back. You can't just walk away. I guess some people can, but I'm not somebody who can give up or quit or walk away, you know.
It makes me very proud that my sister, you know, even, you know, with the gin and tonic in this hand and the blunt in this hand, right, that she hasn't forgot where she came from, and that she speaks for a lot of people when, and it tears me up. She speaks for a lot of people that I think other people don't give a shit about.